Hi everyone, welcome back to another best practices video for first grade. I am Diana Simon and we're going to take a look at what one could expect to see and hear in a first grade mathematics classroom for this unit. Take a look at this joke. Did it make you chuckle? Jokes like this remind us how much fun students have with shapes. In this unit, we want our first graders to explore shapes so that they are able to recognize figures by their defining attributes rather than orientation, color, or size. The first grade unit on two-dimensional figures will include the following learning goals. We want our students identifying, comparing, sorting, and sketching figures with defining attributes. This includes circles, semicircles, triangles, rectangles, square, trapezoid, and hexagon. We also want our students to be able to compose and also to decompose two-dimensional figures. And finally, we want our students to be able to identify parts of real-world objects that are modeled by two-dimensional figures. So what should we see happening during this unit in our first grade classrooms? Our new resource, STEMscopes, provides several opportunities for our students to work with two-dimensional figures. In this first Explore, students work in groups with one student reaching into a bag without looking, and they describe the figure in the bag with defining attributes. The other students draw what the first student is describing. Then they check to see if they were correct. In the second Explore, students will work with a partner to sort their figures by defining attributes. When they've completed the sort and discussed it, they record their results in their journals. Explore 3 allows our students to compose figures on a geoboard. After they compose their figures, they sketch it and they label it in their student journal. Explore 4 requires students to both compose and they also will decompose two-dimensional figures. And finally, in Explore 5, we give our students the opportunity to identify two-dimensional figures within real-world objects. So what does student learning sound like in our classrooms? The types of questions we ask will help facilitate our students' discussions and allow them to reflect on their learning and the learning of others. It also allows us the opportunity to informally assess our students' understanding of the concepts being taught. Here are some examples of some questions that could be asked during this unit. These questions and more like them can be found in the math chat sections of every Explore in our new resource, STEMscopes. Explore lessons and classroom discussions allow for the use of content-rich vocabulary. Here is a list of some of the vocabulary we should hear our students using as they explain their thinking in this unit. As you can see from the list being on 2 slides, this unit will be rich in content vocabulary. This makes classroom discussions critical for our students' vocabulary retention. This list can also be found on the parent letter within STEMscopes. How will our students demonstrate their knowledge? We should be providing many opportunities for students to demonstrate their understanding of benchmarks. STEMscopes provide activities like journal entries, exit tickets, show what you know activities, and fluency games. This allows our students to demonstrate their understanding while also giving the teacher the opportunity to informally assess student knowledge. As we visit classrooms, we may want to ask students questions to better gauge their understanding of the content. Below you will see a couple of questions that we could ask. We could ask our students, what attributes helped you name the figure? Here, we would want our students to be able to tell us if a figure was open or closed, or maybe to name the sides or the vertices. We could also ask our students to compare two shapes and to explain to us how the shapes are the same or how they're different. This gives our students a great opportunity to show off their geometric vocabulary. We could also ask our students to give us some real-world examples of some two-dimensional figures. Here, a student might talk to us about how a slice of pizza is similar to a triangle and how they know that to be the case. These types of questions also allow our students to demonstrate our mathematical thinking and reasoning standards that are also called our MTRs. Specifically, they will be exhibiting numbers 1, 4, and 7. If students want to continue their learning at home, engaging activities can be found on the parent letter for each unit or scope in STEMscopes. The parent letter has a tic-tac-toe board full of engaging activities that can be easily done to reinforce the learning that's being done in the classroom. Here you see an activity that can be done with Play-Doh or clay and a plastic knife. Students simply roll out the clay, are given the name of a two-dimensional figure, and they cut the clay to represent the figure that they were given. To extend this activity, students should be asked to explain how they know that the figure they created is correct. Through exploration and questioning, we can not only help our students have fun with shapes, but we can enrich their vocabulary regarding two-dimensional figures and how they connect to the real world. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.